Hi, welcome to Transmission Hour, Boston's best music. I'm your host, Tim Casey. Tonight we'll be hearing from contemporary folk singer-songwriter Terry Kitchen, who has won numerous awards for his exquisite compositions and recordings. We'll be talking to him later on in the show, but for now, let's hear some music from Terry Kitchen.
This woman left her lights on and her car wouldn't start. I had jumper cables in my trunk, but I was late and it was raining. I was wearing my good suit. I said sorry, but I have to run. I rolled back up my window and I started to pull out. Then I heard my conscience whisper, turn this car around. Life is hard enough, time is short enough, hearts are scarred enough. From the hurting that we do, love is scarce enough, joy is rare enough, we're all strong enough to help each other through. Today you might need me, tomorrow I'll need you. Well, let's not turn away, life is hard enough. There's a family at church, a father and two girls. The mother lost her fight this year. My wife's got the youngest in her Sunday school class. Now every lesson's crystal clear. We can't stop bad things from happening, we can't even know why. But we can give each other courage and comfort when we cry. Life is hard enough, time is short enough, hearts are scarred enough. From the hurting that we do, love is scarce enough, joy is rare enough, we're all strong enough to help each other through. Today you might need me, tomorrow I'll need you. Well, let's not turn away, life is hard enough. Maybe it's the little things that make it all worthwhile, those simple acts of kindness that make each other smile. Life is hard enough, time is short enough, hearts are scarred enough. From the hurting that we do, love is scarce enough, joy is rare enough, we're all strong enough to help each other through. Today you might need me, tomorrow I'll need you. So let's not turn away, life is hard enough. Say let's not turn away, life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. Well, hold your finger over a candle. There's a good chance that you'll get burned. So when that same old flame comes calling, honey, remember what you've learned. See him smile, hear him whisper, well, he's just playing, and it doesn't play nice. So tell me, who's the fool if you let him break the same heart twice? Oh, he's so pretty from a distance, and he always knows just what to say. And it's the path of least resistance to fall for him this way. But he won't be there to catch you. He'll be rolling like tumbling dice. So tell me, who's the fool if you let him break the same heart twice? So hold your finger over a candle. There's a good chance that you'll get burned. So just blow it out, babe. Tell him it's over. That ship has sailed, yeah, the tide has turned. 'Cause sorry just isn't good enough when it's you that will pay the price. So just walk away, baby, forget him. Don't let him break the same heart twice. Just walk away, babe, yeah, just forget him. Don't let him break the same heart twice. Don't let him break the same heart twice.
Well, thank you for coming, Terry. It was great having you on the show. The shoot came out great.
Thank you.
I finished editing it. I got into all that beautiful music. And it was wonderful because Leroy was directing this time. And while he was directing, I could hear his microphone in the headphones the whole time saying, okay, camera 2, zoom in a little bit. Little boy, I like this song. You know, and he kept, with that real quiet voice of his, it was really nice. So thank you for being on the show.
Sure, it was an honor. Thanks for asking me.
Good. So, you know, looking at everything that you do you consider yourself a guitarist, a performer, a recording artist, or a songwriter, or some combination of all those?
I would say primarily a songwriter. I mean, the other stuff is great, but I actually wrote my first song with my cousin Jeff Cohen when I was in 4th grade. It was called Yeah Girl. You know, I didn't include it in the stuff that I did on the show. You know, I could have. But it was before I'd even touched a guitar, before I'd even learned to play a guitar chord. he played a little bit, and we just, wrote this song, very, very heavily influenced by the Monkees. And so it's just something I've always done. I was in probably my first rock band starting in 5th grade. We played at our Cub Scout pack meeting, and we did a couple songs that we wrote. It's just like I knew the Beatles wrote their own songs, and so it seemed like a natural thing to do. Some people kept diaries when they were in high school, and I always ended up just writing a song instead.
Wow.
So I even went to guitar school after college. I went to it was called GIT at the time, the Guitar Institute of Technology. And you walk down Hollywood Boulevard until you get to Elvis Presley's Star, and it's the first door on the right.
Oh, you're kidding.
And this, they moved since then, but this is back in the early 80s, and that's where it was at the time. And it was a great program, sort of like Berkeley, kind of like Berkeley West. And really what it taught me was that I was more interested in writing, that guitar is a great tool. And it's great to be able to pick it up and play a chord and make music or play a scale or whatever it might be. But my heart wasn't in sitting there day after day practicing the technique to really be a phenomenal guitar player. I wanted to, more use it to express myself and really to write my own songs.
And how do you approach music and writing? I know that some people are just like, I have an hour a day where I sit in front of my desk. Other people say, it hits me like a lightning bolt. What happens?
I would say it's a little bit of a combination of the two. It really starts with maybe someone will say something, or I'll read something, or maybe something will happen to me or somebody in somebody's life that I know, and it'll just make me sort of stop what I'm doing and go, wow, and think about what that situation might be. There's a song that I did in the set called Life is Hard Enough, where I was in the parking lot of a drugstore, and this woman needed a jump start, and I was already late, and it was just 100 reasons why I shouldn't give this lady a jump start. It should be somebody else's problem, But in thinking about it, it's well, we all have situations like that where we can just walk away and say, okay, somebody else is going to deal with this, or we'll just take the time to do whatever. So that situation bothered me enough that I ended up having to write a song about it. There's another song that I performed in the set called "Last Straight Boy in P-Town" about
I was wondering how that one came up.
Provincetown, Massachusetts, which is a beautiful city, and I love it dearly. And one of the things that makes it interesting is there are a lot of artists there. And also it's sort of an enclave where gay people feel safe, where they can be sort of out and open and expressive about how they feel. Being straight in P-Town, it made me think about what it's like to not be straight in the rest of the world, and what it's just like going through the day and turning on the radio and thinking that song's not really to me, and what that must feel like. So, so that made me sort of stop and write the song. So I think it's a matter of something sort of hitting me, and then figuring out sort of whose point of view do I sort of identify with in the situation, or whose point of view do I want to express.
The tourists have left town, the boys of summer gone, the locals are paired off to keep each other warm. There's only me to count the waves that wash along the pier. The last straight boy in P-Town on the last day of the year. Take a walk through the Wild West End under skies so full and dark. A single wreath in the center square of Dedication Park. Words of love carved in stone from the lonely soul still here. I'm the last straight boy in P-Town on the last day of the year. Tonight they'll all be all dressed up and making champagne toasts, while I'll be in the shadows drinking whiskey with Norman Mailer's ghost. The sunset sure comes early at the end of the world. I climb the highest dune and watch the waves unfurl. Windswept tracks across the sand from a single white-tailed deer. The last stray buck in P-Town on the last day of the year. But everything is beautiful, so what is there to fear? Said the last straight boy in P-Town on the last day of the year. Seems the kids in this town settled down in the same spot. Got their own special corner, they're born right onto their grave plot. If the job sold out, they're fine, safe inside that county line. Never see, never know, never taste, never touch, never dream, never go, never ask for too much. Every week bow their heads while they wait for the Savior. But they're just killing time till time returns the favor. When I look in your eyes, see the same kind of hunger. Like two birds in a cage, spread our wings and we wonder. Like we know down in our bones, somewhere out there must be home. Wanna see, wanna know, wanna taste, wanna touch, wanna dream, wanna go, wanna grab for so much, wanna feel every skin, every heat, every flavor. I'll be just killing time till time returns the favor. Won't spend my whole life dying day by day, watching every burning sun just fade to gray. Wanna see, wanna know, wanna taste, wanna touch, wanna dream, wanna go, wanna grab for so much. Wanna see, wanna know, wanna taste, wanna touch, wanna dream, wanna go, wanna grab for so much. Wanna feel every skin, every heat, every flavor. I'll be just killing time till time returns, yeah, just killing time till time returns. Said they're just killing time till time returns the favor.
How did you end up in Boston? Because one of your songs
Right,
was about Ohio.
right. Yeah, a song called Magic Days. And when my family moved to the Midwest, to Ohio, back when I was in junior high, and I started playing in a rock band there, I met a bass player and a drummer and a keyboard player, and we did proms and the teen centers and played all that stuff, you know. I was writing songs this whole time period, and one of our first gigs, we totally confounded the audience because they're coming to a teen center in Defiance, Ohio, 15-year-old, kids wanting to hear ZZ Top and Aerosmith.
The name of the town was Defiance, Ohio?
Defiance, Ohio, yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And we did an entire set of our own songs. We did an entire set of songs that I wrote.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, what? We paid $1.50. Where's Walk This Way? Where's, Tush?
Oh my God.
And so, we stayed in touch. And after college, we wanted to be serious about making our own music. And we were on the western part of Ohio, which was different than like the Akron scene that produced Devo and produced Chrissie Hynde, and there was more of a scene around Cleveland. But where we were, it was just cover bands. And so we had to go someplace. And I had actually gone to college in Los Angeles, and I was tired of the brown air. And in Los Angeles, there's such a wall between the established stars. So I read in Rolling Stone magazine that the Cars, Rick Ocasek's band, were starting their own studio. We're building a studio on Newbury Street specifically so that they could record other local bands. They could record their own stuff there, but also they were going to try to produce other local bands. And I thought, wow, a band that actually wants to do that instead of is trying to avoid it, at all costs. Like the Joni Mitchell song about everybody's calling me up for favors.
Yes,
Someone's future to decide. So I knew that about Boston, and we were, families were located in Ohio, so it wasn't as big a leap as going to the West Coast. And so I talked the bass player and the drummer into it, and we all, packed up the van and moved to Boston here, right tail end of '81.
Wow.
And so we played out as a rock band, the name Loose Ties. And if you go to my YouTube page, you'll see a couple embarrassing clips of our '80s videos. And we had a lot of fun playing as a rock band. We never got the big break, but we did do a record. We had one of our videos was on MTV once, which was 3 minutes and 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But even playing in the clubs, back in the '80s, every once in a while, I'd write a song where it wasn't about the beat. It wasn't for people to dance and drink to and try to pick each other up to. I'd want people to really pay attention. And that wasn't the kind of attention you got at a, Bunratty's or the Rat or the Channel. And, and it was great fun to be a part of that scene, but part of me was always thinking I'm not really, this isn't really my home,
I'll be John, you be Paul. We were 16, yeah, we knew it all. With a Beatle bass and a gold Les Paul, making noise in your mother's basement. We were gonna take the world by storm. 3 chords and the truth, yeah, it wouldn't take long. And we wouldn't bow down, and we wouldn't conform, no matter the odds that faced us. The ties get loose and come undone. Not all dreams come true. So you blame me and I blame you. When the fun felt like work, we went our separate ways. But looking back, said those were magic days. Well, you be Mick, I'll be Keith, playing at Westmore on New Year's Eve. With our glam rock clothes, people couldn't believe they were still in the middle of Ohio. So we moved to Boston to make our stand. Played the Rat and the Channel in Storyville. The Tam had a #1 record on BCN while we waited for a label to sign us. The ties get loose and come undone. Not all dreams come true. So you blame me and I blame you. When the fun felt like work. We went our separate ways, but looking back, said those were magic days. There was Macho Dan Callahan, the world's worst booking agent, and Ratso Rizzo, attorney at law, saying stick with me and you'll make it, you'll make it, you'll make it. Well, it was hard for me to understand you could want more to life than a rock and roll band. So here we are, two middle-aged men, but at least we're not in Ohio. Hey, ties get loose and come undone. Not all dreams come true. So I blame me and you blame you when the fun felt like work. We went our separate ways, but looking back, said those were magic. Looking back, said those were magic. Looking back, said those were magic days. She's a shy girl. Takes a while to get to know her. So if you've got something to show her, don't talk too loud or fast. She's a shy girl. She'll stop and look and listen till she trusts her intuition that love is gonna last. She might think you're gonna kiss and tell, even when you swear you never will. But she's a shy girl. She's a shy girl. She used to be more open before her heart got broken by someone just like me. Yeah, she's a shy girl. And even if he's sorry, she's not in a hurry to let her love run free. You might think that all she needs to do is try again with someone just like you. But she's a shy girl. She's a shy girl. So if you've got something to show her, take your time and get to know her, and maybe she will too.
You've won a lot of prizes for your writing,
Oh.
which is good. You won a grand prize in the Mid-Atlantic Song Contest, first prize in the USA Songwriting Competition, and then there was a lot of other stuff mentioned on your website.
Yeah,
All I could think of was, wow.
Oh, well, thank you. It's sort of funny that most of those were for the same song. And it's a song called Right Now, and it's one of the ones that I do during the set. I was just having a crappy day, like we all have crappy days. And I just had the thought, well, right now, something amazing's happening. Whatever, wherever it might be, right now, there's a beautiful sunset, or right now there are waves breaking on a beach someplace. I'm stuck in a snowstorm in Boston, so it's not, it's not to me, but right now amazing things are happening. It's a big world, right? Amazing things are happening. So the first draft of the song that I wrote, half of it's about these amazing things that are happening, and half of it was about what a crappy day I was having it. And then I thought, as it's sort of an experiment, what if I just leave out the bad parts? What if I just concentrate on the parts that are sort of going to lift, hopefully lift me when I sing it, and hopefully lift somebody when they hear it. And somebody said to me, this is the kind of song that wins those contests. You should send it in. So I did, sort of as a lark, and then I got this phone call from the Mid-Atlantic Song Contest saying it had won the country division, because the original demo I recorded it down in Nashville, so there was a pedal steel on it, so it's got a country. So they invited me down to their award ceremony, and and I did the song at the award ceremony. It was a lot of fun, and then they announced the grand prize winner at the ceremony, and they brought me back up on stage. They put a check in my hand right then, which, if you're a songwriter, trust me, that never happens.
I know, yeah.
Never happens.
You're paying me up front.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
So, and then I heard from the USA, and then the John Lennon Song Contest as well. And I really think that it's because I sort of made that conscious decision that just for one time I'm just going to concentrate on the sort of the lifting up part.
At this very moment, someone somewhere is tasting their very first kiss, and someone is making a sacred vow and taking her hand in his. And at this instant, somebody's baby taking its very first step, and off to the east there's a new ray of hope and a beautiful glow to the west. So if you haven't noticed it, right now is the greatest moment there ever was, and right now will never come again. And right now, I'm looking in the mirror saying, if not now, then when? The time to begin to ride the wind is right now. Right now. So many times we put off till tomorrow things we should have done yesterday, and moment by moment, year by year, we let our lifetime slip away. There are so many wonders all around us, so many mountains there to be climbed. 1,000 little miracles lie at our feet if we just take the time. So if you haven't noticed it, right now it's the greatest moment there ever was, and right now will never come again. And right now I'm looking in the mirror saying, if not now, then when? The time to begin to ride the wind is right now. The greatest moment there ever was, and right now will never come again. And right now I'm looking in the mirror was saying, if not now, then when? The time to begin to ride the wind is right now. Yeah, right now. Well, I said right now. Yeah, right now. Right now. If I were your guitar, you'd hold me in your arms and brush me with your fingers, and I would feel your heart as you pressed your breast against me. With every note you'd sing, and we'd make such beautiful music, and every song would be a song of love, and every night you'd play me for hours and hours, until the rising sun had kissed the morning star. If I were your guitar, if I were your guitar, I would hear you whisper your deepest, darkest secrets, and I would cross my heart whatever's locked inside. Well, I would help you free it as we made our beautiful music, and every song we played would lift you higher. I'd be your friend and brother, confessor and your lover, till my wooden wire had filled the empty dark. If I were your guitar, such beautiful music, and every song we sang would end too soon, and every night you'd play me and never get tired, until the fading moon had kissed the morning star. If I were your guitar, if I were your guitar, if I were your guitar.
One of the songs you did that just floored me, I thought it was so good, was If I Were Your Guitar.
I love the style. Bossa Nova is a Brazilian sort of very quiet kind of jazz with this sort of neat kind of pulsing to it, but it's a very quiet pulse. It's not boom, boom, boom. And so, again, there was a situation where I was, looking at a woman sort of holding her guitar and thinking like, that is a lucky guitar. And again, I tend to be like and one thing that maybe makes me a little different than a lot of writers or artists in general is like sometimes when somebody says something really important, they get really loud. They want to like go over the top and sort of have a big moment. And for me, the important moments are the quieter moments.
Another thing that you performed, because I noticed that you really don't do many covers, was Abraham Martin and John.
Oh, yeah, it's a song that I've always loved. It dates back from probably 1969 or so, and 1968 had been a very hard year in American history because we lost not just Martin Luther King but also Bobby Kennedy, and so the song kind of sums up that period, going back to Abraham Lincoln and then John Kennedy, and then bringing it up to date with Martin and Bobby. So I feel like that's such a great song that it's important to remember that it's these people aren't too important to lose like that, and we need the best of who we are here with us now.
Anybody here seen my old friend Abraham? Can you tell me where he's gone? You freed a lot of people, but it seems the good die young. I just looked around and he was gone. Anybody here see my old friend John? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seems the good die young. I just looked around and he was gone. Didn't you love the things they stood for? And didn't they try to find some good in you and me? And we'll be free someday soon, I know we will one day. Anybody here seen my old friend Martin? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seems the good die young. I just looked around and he was gone. Anybody here seen my old friend Bobby? Can you tell me where he's gone? Thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham, Martin, and John. Thought I saw him walking up over the hill with Abraham, Martin, and John.
So I'm digging deeper on your website, and I start looking at. Wait a minute, what? Okay, so there's two really weird things about you on the website. One is that you have an FBI file
It's true. It's true.
You don't, it doesn't just, you don't look like a criminal,
Well, it really ties back again to when I was in college, and this this group called the Alliance for Survival, and I was one of the campus organizers, but it was also a larger California-based group, and there are earthquake faults that run through California. So the idea of building nuclear power plants on earthquake faults seems like a bad idea.
Insane. Yeah.
Right. So there was that aspect of the group, and then also, at the time, Reagan had just been elected president, and we're putting a lot of money into defense. The Cold War, and while there were a lot of people in America who couldn't put food on the table, which didn't make sense, to me and to other people. So a couple times we got arrested at protests. And again, because it was the Reagan era, Reagan had been governor of California too. So not only were we arrested, but we were processed as enemies of the state. So, we got, did our little hard time in the Orange County jail, but also, got FBI files. So, anybody who wants to spend the money on the Freedom of Information Act fee, is welcome to dig out my FBI file.
Okay, so now this one's even weirder. You were mentioned in a Harlequin romance novel.
Yes, yeah, this is true.
Again.
Yep. Well, a friend of mine from back in the rock and roll days here, the first time I ever played at the Rat, which was in 1982, my band, which was called Loose Ties, we're playing on one of these new music nights, new band nights, and the booker thought it would be funny to book us, Loose Ties, with another band that was called Sensible Shoes. So we'd never met each other, but fine, we're on the same bill. So we got to be friends, and the lead singer of that group is a woman named Suzanne Brockman, who, after her rock and roll period, she started writing romance novels. And so one of her books set in Boston, her character is a singer, and her character opens for me, like does the opening set, and then the audience sort of gets to see the reader sees the little scene of me playing in a club.
Wow, that must have been bizarre. Did you read it like?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Wow, I'd love to see that. Oh,
yeah,
you should get copyright clearance and put
Sure.
the chapter on your website.
Yeah.
'Cause that'd be cool. Well, actually, speaking of your website, we were wondering how can people get in touch with you and get
sure.
music?
Well, I do have a website, and it's very simple. It's www.terrykitchen.com, just like it sounds. And there's stuff on the CDs, and also my CDs are up on iTunes as well. So anybody who likes their music digitally, I always like the actual CD just because there's the artwork, and I always like to read the lyrics and find out who's playing on it and all that kind of stuff. And I think my wife is a filmmaker, a visual artist. And so I always try to be conscious of the visual part of an album, of a CD. And I think, again, growing up when LPs, it was very much part of the experience. You put it on the turntable and you stare at the record, and some of the artwork, is thematic to making the whole world come alive. So I try to continue that tradition. And on my latest CD, which is called Summer to Snowflakes, the photographer did a really cool thing where she had me sit in a dark room and with very slow time-lapse photography painted me with a flashlight. So I'm sitting here like this, and she drew a guitar with a flashlight, and so you can see the light kind of like laser outline of a guitar sort of floating above me, which is which is cool.
It was, yeah. I saw the photo and it was beautiful.
So it's neat. It's neat every couple of years when I do a CD to get to think of a visual component.
Well, it was great having you on.
Well, thanks so much.
It was a great show, great interview, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Terry.
Staring out the window, ignoring my coffee, watching the snowflakes falling down. I'd just been reading a newspaper story about a girl from here in my hometown. In school she was a loner, they wouldn't leave alone. She got picked on for her shyness and her clothes. I guess it got to be too much, and the only way out was with an overdose. I just stared out the window and I shook my head, and I thought, why can't we be like snowflakes, each one a little different, and no one ever says this one's better than the rest. We're all made up in heaven, drift down to this earth, have our moment, then we melt into the ground. Each one of us as beautiful as the snowflakes falling down. I got my Sunday coat, stopped to buy a flower, drove out to the lawn behind the church. There weren't very many who stood there and shivered as the preacher said his words. Oh, I mostly tuned him out as I gazed around the fields, all covered with new fallen snow. And I said this prayer: why can't we be like snowflakes, each one a little different, and no one ever says this one's better than the rest? We are all made up in heaven, drift down to this earth, have our moment, then we melt into the ground. Each one of us as beautiful as the snowflakes falling down. Hey, why can't we be like snowflakes, each one a little different, and no one ever says this one's better than the rest? We're all made up in heaven, drift down to this earth, have our moment, then we melt into the ground. Each one of us as beautiful as the snowflakes falling down. Each one of us as beautiful as the snowflakes falling down.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed Terry Kitchen as much as we have here at BNN. Keep your eyes open for the next transmission hour, where we'll bring you more of Boston's best music. Until then, I'm your host, Tim Casey. Thanks for tuning in, and keep watching the skies.
Some guys act like they've just got it coming. If they snap their fingers, girls should just come running. Good looks, smooth talk, everything money can buy. I can't compete with that, so I don't even try. But I will listen to you talk all night.
I feel like I talked a lot. I hope I didn't ramble too much.
No, you're supposed to.